Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the Iron Age. Throughout the Bronze Age, iron was a luxury item. So we moved from copper, which is a very flimsy metal, to bronze, which is a little tougher because it's copper mixed with tin. And now we have iron. Iron was valued at 40 times its weight in silver. It had to be, in order for iron to be forged, it had to be smelted at 2800 degrees Fahrenheit. So this isn't like your pottery kiln. You can put some metal in and melt it. It requires complex technology in order to be produced. It was used by groups like the Hittites in the Middle East, who perfected the ability to make iron weapons and iron armor as a secret weapon, as a deadly weapon for a number of years. Once iron is being regularly smelted, we can say that the Iron Age has begun. Iron plows made farming easier, made it possible to plow more areas, opened up new areas for agriculture. This is also a period of increased trade, increased agriculture, increased food surpluses, increased the amount of trade increased the amount of fluid wealth that was able to be traded. And so we start to see cities like Tyre on the coast of modern-day Lebanon importing luxury items from Arabia, from Spain, even we think from Britain. And so these people living in the city of Tyre are known as Phoenicians. The Phoenicians are the first great traders of the Mediterranean, bringing these goods from outside the Middle East into the society. Another local people who were famous at this time were the Philistines, also famous for using iron weapons, and we think maybe that's contributed to their reputation as mighty warriors. Also, along with this, we start to see the emergence of the identity of the Hebrew people. The Hebrews were Semitic pastoralists who lived on the edge of Mesopotamia. And so they had moved west of the city of Ur, that was part of the Sumerian society. They had an exclusive relationship with a single almighty God. So we have another example of monotheism here. They had established a covenant with this God, and they believed that if they were faithful to this covenant, this God would establish them in the land of Canaan. But for the moment, they remained nomadic. At some point, it seems as though they moved and settled in Egypt, probably under the Hyksos, and then they recorded their escape from Egypt as the Exodus, led by the figure of Moses. Now, where exactly Exodus fits in to the chronology of ancient Egypt is something that it is very difficult to discern. But it also seems highly unlikely that this would be an invented memory. You have very few other nations that see their founding as in slavery. So it seems as though there is some relationship from a historical level. I'm not talking about from a religious level, but from a historical level, historians are increasingly confident that there was an exodus, that there was some kind of Hebrew presence in Egypt. We're just not quite sure when, and we're not quite sure what that relationship looked like. Okay, now you want to move to the next slide. So the Hebrews come out of Egypt, they come to the land of Canaan, they conduct a series of fiercely fought wars in order to conquer the land and expel the Canaanites. But they remain divided amongst themselves. And as a divided group, it was easy for them to be defeated by other more powerful groups like the Philistines. Around 1050, they chose a man named Saul as their king to help them defeat the Philistines and established a more centralized and more powerful government led by a king. One of these kings, named Solomon, built an enormous temple that drew interested rulers from around the Persian Gulf to see it. After Solomon's death, we think around 930 BC, the kingdom splits. The kingdom splits in two, Judah and Israel. The kingdom of Israel is soon swallowed up into other kingdoms, but the kingdom of Judah is more conservative, is less influenced by outside cultures, and it continues to survive independently. We're going to stop there, have a slightly shorter video, so I can talk about the Assyrians in our next video.